Hello and welcome to the daily study of the Way of Mastery. Today we continue with Lesson 1, The Way That Calls You Home, and Section 2, entitled The First Step in Awakening. We're going to look at paragraphs 2, 3, and 4. In paragraph 2, Yeshua says, "During the first part of this course, we will be building lesson by lesson on what I am choosing to call the way of the heart. It is the way unknown to the world. It is a way unknown to many that would call themselves spiritual teachers. For it is not a way of resting on or becoming dependent on magical means." So it's a way unknown to the world, and the world here being kind of defined as the projection of the ego thought, which is this idea of separation. That's from this context, this teaching, the world is a projection of the thought of separation. So what Yeshua is teaching in the way of the heart is unknown to this world. And he says it's a way unknown to many that would call themselves spiritual teachers, for it's not a way of resting on and becoming dependent on magical means. So the way that I interpret this is magical means are things outside of us. How many teachings, religious, traditional, spiritual, whatever you want to call it, these people are teaching that there's something outside of you. There's something else outside that has power, that if you can get it or attain it, it will give you what you're looking for. And that's not what this is, the way of the heart. Paragraph 3, Yeshua says, "It is rather that pathway which cultivates within you the decision to turn your attention upon your own mind, upon your own behavior, upon what is true and real for you moment to moment, to study it, to consider it, to feel it, to breathe the light of spirit through it, and to constantly retrain the mind so that it assumes complete responsibility in each moment." So he says the way of the heart is this pathway which cultivates or grows within you. The decision, that's a key word, the decision. It is always our decision. Again, this is all about empowerment. It's all happening within you, and your power to choose is paramount. No one and nothing can take that away. So the way of the heart cultivates or grows your decision to turn your attention upon your own mind inward. So not external, not on the things outside of you, but looking within at your own thoughts, at your own behavior, at what's true for you in the moment, and to study it, to consider it, to feel it, and to breathe the light of spirit through it. How often are we just so fixated on things external to us? And we're going to grow this decision to go inward, to turn our focus. Remember, our experience is an effect of where we choose to place our attention, as we've said in earlier episodes. So we're going to grow our decision to turn our attention inward. And we're going to look and we're going to breathe the light of spirit through it, even if we're confused, even if we feel lost, even if we feel like we don't get it. And we're constantly, over and over and over again, retraining the mind so that it assumes complete responsibility in each moment. That is a triple underlined, highlighted passage, complete responsibility in each moment, meaning there's nothing outside that can affect us unless we let it. There's no thought that can affect us unless we let it, unless we choose to focus our attention and place value on that thought. And then paragraph 4, Yeshua says, "Why is this necessary? Because without it, there can be no peace. Without it, you cannot transcend the false identifications that you have chosen. You need to come to the point where you say to yourself, 'I have done this to myself. I did it. I must correct it. No one is to blame. The world is innocent.'" So he's saying, without it, and the it is taking complete responsibility in each moment. Without that, we can have no peace because there's always something outside of us that's disturbing us. Without taking complete responsibility in each moment, we cannot transcend the false identifications that we have chosen. Again, the emphasis on our choice. Now, consciously, you may not realize why you chose it, and that's okay. You will shed more light on this as you move through this program. Jeshua says, you need to come to the point where you say to yourself, "I've done this to myself. I did it." Again, this is very empowering. And really, if we trace all the things in our life and all the things it's all about the original choice to believe the tiny mad idea that somehow we're separate from source. That is the root of everything else. Every terrible, bad, suffering experience that we've had in our lifetime is just an effect of believing and placing value on that one thought. But it manifests in a million infinite different ways. So the moment we said, I've done this to myself, not in a judging, shaming way, but almost an empowering way, like, hey, if I can do this to myself, I can undo it by making a different choice. I must correct it. No one's to blame. The world is innocent. The world is neutral. It's been me that's been projecting the thoughts that I've placed value on, of separation, of lack, of not enough, all of these things that I've projected. And then my experience is just reflecting back to me what I've been focusing on, where my attention's been inside, about who and what I believe I am. If I believe I'm unworthy, if I believe I've done the impossible and separated from spirit, if I believe I'm not enough, then my experience in some way, shape, or form is going to show up and reflect that back to me. And what Jeshua is inviting us is when we take complete responsibility for our thoughts and for where we are placing our attention, that's the pathway that leads to the way of the heart. So it is, again, this can be such a challenging, hard idea that our ego, that our mind doesn't like, that our ego mind doesn't like. But in our heart, we know it's the path to freedom. So you may have to listen to this once or twice or 3 times to kind of let these things sink in. But thanks for listening. We're going to continue tomorrow. Can't wait. I love you. Have a great day. Bye.